Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of the Generational Wealth Management Saturday morning look back show. Week 9 is in the books already, Andy, and we only got one more week left in the regular season.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jared. It's I feel like I say this week after week, but now you can really feel it. Now, as you know, there are a few teams that wrapped up the regular season this week. The playoff picture has become pretty clear. It's just the weather. You can definitely tell it's week 9. It's amazing how fast the season has gone. It's exciting for us to see what's in store with the postseason on the horizon.
Yeah, it's going to be an awesome time. But before we get into everything, let's take a minute and thank all the sponsors that help bring this Generational Wealth Management Saturday morning look back show to you.
Whether retirement is just around the corner or years away, John Bongiovanni, Lucas Slazak, and Adam Jack of Generational Wealth Management in Erie and Bradford are here for you. John, a Forbes-recognized best-in-state wealth advisor, Lucas and Adam provide customized investment advisory solutions and retirement planning services. Generational Wealth Management offers world-class investment services and internationally recognized insurance products from Northwestern Mutual, an industry leader. The Generational Wealth Management team provides a high level of expertise and service to their professional and business clients. Contact the Erie office at 814-651-0838 or the Bradford office at 814-368-4065 or check them out online at gwm.nm.com. Whether looking for affordable auto, home, and life insurance, look no further than Allstate Insurance, the David Jones Agency in Clarion and Meadville. At the David Jones Agency, you get personalized attention from someone who lives where you do. The David Jones Agency meets you where you are. They are available during regular business hours, Monday through Friday at their office, via appointment at the office after hours, or remotely. The David Jones Agency also offers investment opportunities, including annuities and IRAs. The David Jones Agency can be reached in Clarion at 814-223-4000 and in Meadville at 814-337-5107.
With convenient locations in DuBois, Ridgeway, St. Mary's, and Warren, you don't have to travel far to get your game-winning smile with Cole Orthodontic Associates. The orthodontists of Cole Orthodontic Associates have been crafting beautiful, healthy smiles in north central Pennsylvania since 1960. Born and raised in the area, the doctors and staff at Cole Orthodontic Associates are committed to the people of this region. Visit colesmiles.net to schedule an appointment or consultation at the location nearest you today.
Allegheny Electric Service of St. Mary's has been providing industrial and commercial electrical solutions for over 35 years. They offer complete design, build, installation, and maintenance of automated systems for a variety of industries. Allegheny Electric designs and installs wiring and lighting for any size project, big or small. And when you find yourself in a jam, they'll get your machine or facility back up and running in no time. Call Allegheny Electric Service at 814-781-1940 or visit AlleghenyElectric.com. When it's your special day, we know you want everything to be just perfect. That's why at the Allegheny Grill in Foxburg, we spared no expense in creating our new indoor-outdoor wood-framed event center with waterfalls, gorgeous views of the Allegheny River, a fire pit, and plenty of parking. The Allegheny Grill in Foxburg will take care of everything from catering to bartending, so all you have to do is bring the fun. We do it all for your wedding, anniversary party, corporate event, and so much more. One look at our new facility and we know you'll fall in love. And remember, the view is always free at the Allegheny Grill in Foxburg, PA.
Specialty Fabrication and Powder Coating LLC is family owned and operated out of Franklin, PA. SFPC is actively seeking new talent and has openings at 2 plants located in Venango County. Those openings are either first, second, or third shifts at one or both locations. Check out the specific enrollment opportunities at www.specfab.com or send an email along with your resume to careers@specfab.com. SFPC is an equal opportunity employer.
Are you sick of all the madness and hassle of traditional fundraisers? Well, then let us give you a big, warm welcome to the Tap and Pay Plus fundraising app. Thanks to Tap and Pay Plus, it's now easy for your team or group to gain online donations from supporters anywhere. Simply shop, earn, and support the team every single day. Learn more about our simple and easy fundraising app at www.tapandpayplus.com.
Big special thanks to all of our sponsors that help bring the Saturday morning look back show to you. Let's throw back to a couple days ago. We had some Thursday night football in both District 9 and District 10. And how about we start off with the District 10 game between Eisenhower and Iroquois?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that was a game, Jared, that was tied. Iroquois tied that game early in the fourth quarter, 14-14. And then a couple of late touchdowns from Eisenhower, courtesy of Tucker Lindell, gave them the lead. And Sean Pascuzzi also had a rushing touchdown. Nice to see. Sean actually a couple of weeks ago got carted off against First Year's Prep. It turned out it was precautionary, but good to see him back. And that Eisenhower team, I think everyone thought they were going to kind of take a big step back after going undefeated in the regular season last year and advancing the D10 title game. But lo and behold, here they are at 6-3, and probably right now have the inside track at the number 3 seed in the Class A playoffs in District 10. And my colleague, our colleagues, Brian Hagberg and Cody Elms, had the call of that one. And one of the guys that really stepped up for Eisenhower in that game defensively was Cameron Jacobzak. Really had a strong game for the Knights. I know the guys got a chance to catch up with him afterwards, but just very impressive what Eisenhower has been able to do this season after graduating so much talent from last year.
Yeah, let's see what Cameron had to say about the win.
As you can see, it's Eisenhower's Cameron Jacobzak, our Allegheny Grill of Foxburg player of the game. The Allegheny Grill in Foxburg, where you come for the food and stay for the view. And it's the best place to watch the big game. Find out more, AlleghenyGrill.com. Our player of the game interview is brought to you by Cole Orthodontic Associates. With convenient locations in Ridgeway, St. Mary's, and Warren, you can get your game-winning smile with Cole Orthodontic Associates. And Cameron, it was a battle for 3.5 quarters. You guys able to get a couple late touchdowns there to really pull away. Is this the type of battle that you expected to see from Iroquois here tonight?
Yeah, we've known they're a hard-hitting team, and they're just hard-nosed all around. We knew it was coming.
And so it's senior night for you here. Get a chance to you're going to have one more game on this home field, but to really get recognized in front of the hometown fans, does it give you a little bit of extra juice in a game like this?
Oh, it absolutely did, absolutely. And I just want that to pass on to the other guys too.
And it certainly seemed like it kind of inspired you. Came out, especially in that first quarter, on the defensive side of the ball, making plays all over the place. Again, apologize, folks. The wind's really kicking up here. I think the rain's about to come in real soon. But making plays all over the defensive side of the ball. What were you seeing, from their offense that allowed you to kind of telegraph and get in position to make those plays?
It was just watching film all week. Penley makes a game plan, and it's just studying that. It's just listening to our coach, being disciplined, and that helps us make good plays.
And so late in the first half, you're on one side of the line on defense and Chris Bunk on the other, and he goes out with an injury. How big was it for Gavin Lindemuth to step up? He made a couple of big plays for you defensively to fill that void.
Oh, it was absolutely huge. It was awesome. I love the way he's going, and we just need to keep doing that because guys get hurt and guys got to step up.
And so again, you come in against a team that people look at the record maybe and say, oh, they're 1-7 coming in, and this should be a game that you maybe put away a little bit earlier than you did. But as you said, you knew it was going to be a battle. But what does it say about the resiliency of your team to come away right after they tie it? You guys go right down the field and score.
It was definitely awesome to see them step up and just put their big boy pants on.
And then you had a big catch on that last touchdown drive that put you guys into Iroquois territory and almost really sealed things for you. Again, what seemed to start working so well for your offense late in the game?
I'm not really sure. I think we just had to laser focus, and we finally decided to do that and pull it out the win.
All right, well, you guys have one more regular season game left. You'll be right back here next week against Girard, and then you're going to certainly have your eye on the postseason. What do you have to do as you enter into the playoffs to get yourselves back to that District 10 championship game?
Just focus. We need to focus, and just focus more. That's our huge thing.
All right, that's our Allegheny Grill of Foxburg player of the game, Eisenhower's Cameron Jacobzak.
Pretty good interview by Cameron there. And on another Thursday night game that we had was the Red Bank Valley Brockway game. That game kind of was on my schedule for games to watch this week. I mean, especially after last year, how Brockway beat Red Bank in the playoffs, and I think it kind of went how everyone expected. But I think it was a lot closer at some point because I think it was only 28-21 at halftime.
And Brockway scored Red Bank Valley, scored right before halftime to take a 28-21 lead. Then came out and scored to start the third quarter. And that was kind of pretty much all she wrote. But yeah, you had it circled. I had it circled. A lot of people had that game circled. And it was tight for a while, but I think Red Bank Valley, especially in the second half, just really kind of flexed their muscles.
Yeah, do you feel like this is possibly a game we could possibly see in the playoffs again this year?
Oh, I think no question, and I've seen Brockway probably more than I've seen any other team in either district this season. They're talented. They have the guys to hang with Red Bank and given the right circumstances beat them. But I mean, Red Bank just seems so laser focused right now. But I think Brockway, they had that loss to Union AC Valley and people kind of wrote them off a little bit. No, this is still a pretty dang good football team. And it's a team that has a lot of weapons. It's a team that, as we saw for a while, offensively hung with Red Bank before Red Bank pulled away. But to your point, I would not be surprised one bit if this is a game we see again, down the road.
A player who had a big game for Red Bank Valley was Ashton Kale. He had 3 touchdown catches in the game, and he's been having a pretty good season this year. Yeah,
and Ashton, that's the thing about Red Bank. They just have so many weapons. It's really quite impressive. You kind of have to, when you're preparing and game planning for them, you really kind of have to pick your poison. And Ashton was a guy that was able to take advantage, of some opportunities against Brockway. But it's him, it's Klaus, obviously, Braylon Wagner getting those guys to football. This team just has it's almost, Jared, it's kind of an embarrassment of riches, if you will. It's really it makes them a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, so let's see what Ashton had to say about the win on Thursday.
It's an outstanding game on your part. One of the questions I wanted to ask is, what are your thoughts on playing on Thursday night?
It's definitely different. Grew up all my life playing on Saturday nights, and now Friday nights, but never played on a Thursday night. So it definitely was an interesting, game to be held on a Thursday. But, we moved everything up a day early, got all of our preparation, and we just came into today like it was a Friday, normal Friday.
One of the things you're talking about preparation is that we comment several times about that little, I'm going to call it a shuffle pass. Chris Goss a little flip. The timing of that is unbelievable. How much time do you guys really work at that?
I'd like to say a lot, but, growing up with these, guys all my life, it's just chemistry at this point. It's like we know where we're going to be. We know the perfect timing. I mean, generally speaking, we do go over it a lot in practice, but I'd like to think of it more as, like a team thing, like a, friend chemistry, grow up playing with these guys. So I think, I think it just comes easy to us.
Now, I'm going to give you a middle name here now, and please don't take this as an insult, okay? I'm going to call you Aston Yak, okay?
Yep.
And Kale, and you know what I mean by yak right there. It's your
yards after catch.
Yards after catch. It's so impressive that after you catch a ball is just the number of tackles you break.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. I really don't know how to answer that.
Well, what I like about going back to that, and I was commenting up there, when you're about ready to be tackled, you're throwing that force. You're actually running harder into them than they are hitting you.
Yeah. I don't really like to talk about this, but a couple weeks ago, I lost my grandma, my great-grandma, and I've dedicated every game, from here on out to her because, she's watching me from up there, but that's honestly why I've been running so hard, man. Not having her in my life anymore, it lit up something inside of me that I never knew I had. And so people ask me, for the past few weeks, they've noticed different attitude, the way I've been taking the game. And, the amount of energy and what I try to do on the field, that's the reason why I run so hard. And I'm just here to make my day.
Well, you're a special player. If I can get you to hold that shirt up.
Yeah, I think Ashton Kell's definitely found that extra step in his game these last couple of weeks, and I think that's kind of scary for defenses moving forward, especially if Red Bank wants to make especially if Red Bank does make another run this year.
Yeah, I think people are looking at this team, and as the weeks go by, it seems like they just they're getting better and better. And of course, they had that run to the state title game a couple of years ago. I think, there's a prevailing thought, among people like us, media types and everything else, that this is a team, not saying they're going to, because that's, obviously it takes a lot to get to that point, but this is a team that's capable of doing some damage beyond just District 9. If they get out of District 9, that's capable of making a run like that. And and with Ashton playing the way he is, again, this team just has. I know I keep harping on it. The weapons are between them, and Central Clarion and Double A, two teams that really are so hard to prepare for because they have so many guys and so many athletes that can beat you.
Well, that's definitely good to hear that, because I believe that Red Bank and Central Clarion actually play each other next week.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
That's going to be a heck of a game, and I think there's going to be a lot of people at that game.
Yeah, I think so too. Of course, actually, I was at that game, Jared, last year. Braylon Wagner actually made his first career start at quarterback as a freshman last year and lit it up. I believe that Red Bank won that game 47-38. No matter the outcome, and I could be wrong, but I would expect a lot of points in that game, this coming week as well.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. Heck, I've even seen comments of people saying, "Hey, they should move the game to Saturday so everyone else in District 9 can come see that game."
No, I don't disagree.
Yeah, but let's play our ads real quick. Then we'll get into yesterday night's action, and yeah.
Whether retirement is just around the corner or years away, John Bongiovanni, Lucas Slazak, and Adam Jack of Generational Wealth Management in Erie and Bradford are here for you. John, a Forbes-recognized best-in-state wealth advisor, Lucas and Adam provide customized investment advisory solutions and retirement planning services. Generational Wealth Management offers world-class investment services and internationally recognized insurance products from Northwestern Mutual, an industry leader. The Generational Wealth Management team provides a high level of expertise and service to their professional and business clients. Contact the Erie office at 814-651-0838 or the Bradford office at 814-368-4065 or check them out online at gwm.nm.com. Looking for affordable auto, home, and life insurance? Look no further than Allstate Insurance, the David Jones Agency in Clarion and Meadville. At the David Jones Agency, you get personalized attention from someone who lives where you do. The David Jones Agency meets you where you are. They are available during regular business hours Monday through Friday at their office, via appointment at the office after hours, or remotely. The David Jones Agency also offers investment opportunities, including annuities and IRAs. The David Jones Agency can be reached in Clarion at 814-223-4000 and in Meadville at 814-337-5107.
With convenient locations in DuBois, Ridgeway, St. Mary's, and Warren, you don't have to travel far to get your game-winning smile with Cole Orthodontic Associates. The orthodontists of Cole Orthodontic Associates have been crafting beautiful, healthy smiles in north central Pennsylvania since 1960. Born and raised in the area, the doctors and staff at Cole Orthodontic Associates are committed to the people of this region. Visit colesmiles.net to schedule an appointment or consultation at the location nearest you today.
Allegheny Electric Service of St. Mary's has been providing industrial and commercial electrical solutions for over 35 years. They offer complete design, build, installation, and maintenance of automated systems for a variety of industries. Allegheny Electric designs and installs wiring and lighting for any size project, big or small. And when you find yourself in a jam, they'll get your machine or facility back up and running in no time. Call Allegheny Electric Service at 814-781-1940 or visit AlleghenyElectric.com. When it's your special day, we know you want everything to be just perfect. That's why at the Allegheny Grill in Foxburg, we spared no expense in creating our new indoor-outdoor wood-framed event center with waterfalls, gorgeous views of the Allegheny River, a fire pit, and plenty of parking. The Allegheny Grill in Foxburg will take care of everything from catering to bartending, so all you have to do is bring the fun. We do it all for your wedding, anniversary party, corporate event, and so much more. One look at our new facility and we know you'll fall in love. And remember, the view is always free at the Allegheny Grill in Foxburg, PA.
Specialty Fabrication and Powder Coating LLC is family owned and operated out of Franklin, PA. SFPC is actively seeking new talent and has openings at 2 plants located in Venango County. Those openings are either first, second, or third shifts at one or both locations. Check out the specific enrollment opportunities at www.specfab.com or send an email along with your resume to careers@specfab.com. SFPC is an equal opportunity employer.
Are you sick of all the madness and hassle of traditional fundraisers? Well, then let us give you a big, warm welcome to the Tap and Pay Plus fundraising app. Thanks to Tap and Pay Plus, it's now easy for your team or group to gain online donations from supporters anywhere. Simply shop, earn, and support the team every single day. Learn more about our simple and easy fundraising app at www.tapandpayplus.com.
All right, Andy, we're back on to some Friday games that we had, and I believe you were at a game last night.
Yep, Brian Hagberg and I had the call for Oil City and Titusville, a game that was really critical to playoff positioning in Class 3A and District 10. Both teams came in at 5-3. Titusville had won 4 consecutive games, and Oil City really, right from the get-go, kind of apart from a fumble on their opening drive, really was quite impressive. And Jared, they did something I've never seen before. Oil City had the ball for all but 2 plays in the second quarter. So what happened was Titusville scored on the first play of the second quarter to get within 8-6. Oil City drives the ball 7 minutes down the field, scores, gets an onside kick, recovers, go down the field and scored again with 22 seconds left in the half. It was really quite remarkable. And what else was remarkable is the running of Ethan Knox behind his offensive line. Ethan last week broke the District 10 career rushing record set by former Meadville standout Journey Brown, who of course went on to play at Penn State. But Ethan, and he did this in a game once last year. It's a stat line you don't see too often, Jared. He carried the ball 55 times.
Wow.
55 times, 345 yards, and 4 touchdowns. It really, apart from 1 or 2 big runs, it was kind of they grinded it out. And like a lot of games across the districts last night, it was wet, it was rainy, and it was really just quite an impressive performance from the Oilers.
Yeah, and you saw you got an interview with Ethan Knox, so let's see what he had to say about the game.
The player of the game interview is brought to you by Cole Orthodontic Associates with convenient locations in Ridgeway, St. Mary's, and Warren. You can get your game-winning smile at Cole Orthodontic Associates. And Ethan, first of all, congratulations on the win, a big one here in region.
Yeah, thank you.
And so, you guys come into this game. It's a couple of 5-3 teams. You're battling for playoff positioning. Yeah, you lose the ball on the first possession of the game, and then you guys came back and really just kind of took over. What was working so well for you on the ground today?
A few different things. I mean, ISO right up the middle probably called that. I'd say a good 60 to 75% of our plays. It was just pretty much ground and pound, just pound the ball up the middle. First down up until we scored, and it's just how we did it.
And how much did it was raining off and on throughout or leading up to the game and then through most of the first half. How difficult is it this late in the season? It's, wet, it's cold out there to really get a good feel for the ball, get a grip on the ball.
I mean, night like tonight, it rained all pregame. I didn't know what the game was going to forecast really weather-wise. So we came out. It was just drizzling a little bit. I figured, gloves – I'll be all right. Not all right. Fumbled first drive and said off with the gloves rest of the game. And you can't change the weather, so you just got to battle through adversity and just play through it.
And we saw at one point your teammate Johnny Hargenrader was spelling you one of the few times he got a breather offensively, but he carried the ball one time and immediately threw the gloves off as well. But how much a difference can that make? Gloves versus no gloves on a night like tonight.
I'm always a big gloves guy. I love wearing my gloves, but not like tonight where it's just raining. Even just the slightest little amount of just wetness on your gloves, it just makes it 100 times slippier. So, it's just take them off. Honestly, not a big change for me. Gloves or no gloves, I get the ball, just run with it.
And so, you mentioned that first possession, you lose a fumble. How much does that motivate you for the rest of the game to really come out and pile up the yardage and take care of the football?
Big motivator. Just trying to get back. I know I messed up, so just want to go make it up to myself and my teammates and my coaches on the next drive and rest of the game, honestly.
All right, so you guys scored the second touchdown to go up 16-6, and then you kick the onside kick and recover. Was that something you had discussed pregame that, hey, if we get up by a score, we're going to try an onside kick, or did it just come about in the heat of the moment, so to speak?
I was not aware of it until we were kicking it. I didn't know what was happening. We haven't talked about it all week. I think it's just last minute thing. Our coach was like, onside kick it, So I don't know, it worked.
And how big of a momentum boost was that for you, not only to recover the kick, but then take the ball in and score late in the half to extend your lead?
Huge momentum boost. Once you get up like that and then you can get the ball right back and go score again, that's just pretty much takes all the momentum away from them.
So you guys are going to have a bye week next week. You kind of get to sit back and and watch as things unfold across District 10. Know you're going to be a playoff team, going to learn your seed at some point, probably in the next week or so. What are you guys looking to as you get into the playoffs to rectify? You were on this field a year ago against Slippery Rock, a tough game in the opening round there. How do you take the next step this year and get past the first round and get back into a District 10 championship?
I mean, all these guys in the locker room right now, I mean, we're all back from last year. We all know what happened last year. Just even stepping in the locker room on this field for the first time since that game, it was just a huge motivator. Like, we know what we did last year, and we know what we got to do this year.
Yeah, that's awesome. And, hearing Ethan say that running ISOs 24 or 40, 50 times in a game as a Kerwinsville alumni, that's definitely stuff that I'm very used to hearing.
Oh yeah, no, and they did. It didn't get a chance to call that game. It was working, and they just kept sticking with it. And sometimes, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And and they used it to get the big win there last night.
Yeah, I remember when Coach Ivanka would call the same play like 3 times in a row just because it'd work, and like the defense would be pointing, "Hey, it's coming right here." Get like 3 to 4 yards on it, because he'd tell us like, "Hey, as long as you get 3 yards of carry, that's all that matters." So.
Yep. And that's kind of what Oil City did a lot last night too. So yeah, it's great. It worked to great success.
Yeah, and so the big news for me is I was actually able to go to a Friday night football game myself last night. I was able to head out to the big rivalry of the Route 36 trophy game between Brookville and Punxsutawney. Punxsutawney was the defending winner of it, and they won the trophy back for the first time since 2018. But Brookville decided, like, hey, it's coming back up with us, and I was able to see a really good. It was a good game. It was a sloppy game condition-wise. It was 0-0 at halftime. I don't think there's really no big offensive plays in the first half, and whenever you're playing a downpour, it really kind of limits your offense, especially Brookville too. That's a really pass-first type of team. They were kind of having to rely on running the ball, and it would be like 3 and out here, 3 and out there. Like both teams were really struggling to find what they needed to do, but come out in the second half, the rain stopped. It was still wet and muddy, of course, but the first play in the second half, Brookville took Hayden Freeman took, I don't know how many yards it was, but he took a receiving touchdown to the house, and they go up 7-0. And the next play, or the next series, to stop Punxsy a couple times, and then Jack Pete had a fumble recovery touchdown to put him up 14-0. Punxsy was able to score late with like 4 or 3 minutes left in the game to make it 14-7, and they even had a chance at the end. They got the ball back with 1:20 left, but wasn't able to get down to where they need to, and Brookville was able to close out the game.
Yeah, it's just funny how those rivalry games, no matter what, so many of them come down to one possession game, and that's and you talked about the weather conditions being what they were too, and sometimes you just have to grind it out and find a way to make a play here, a play there. It sounds like that's exactly what Brookville did.
Yeah, and like I was talking to some of the people and the other media people on the sidelines. I'm like, yeah, this is going to be like I think we're only going to see like 1 or 2 scores in this game. Like I figured it was going to be like a 7-0 game or a 14-7 type of game, and that's kind of what we got. And like those types of games, it was like all the little things there. Like if Landon March doesn't fumble that and Jack Pete takes it to the house, like we're still looking at a 7-0 game. Like it might be a 7-0 game, or it's a 7-7 game, or something. We might have had overtime, but either way, I think maybe if it was different conditions, I don't know if the outcome would have been any different, but I think either way, it was kind of cool to see an old school. That was like an old school type of game right there. Everyone's like likes to see these 40, 50s combined score games, but sometimes like those low scoring games and defensive games are fun to watch too.
No, Jared, I'm a big fan of those kinds of games, and I'm kind of jealous you were able to be there. But no, that's fantastic. And you talk about a Brookville team too that's just rolling right now. Obviously had the bad start to the season, but the 0-2, but haven't lost since.
Yeah, that's definitely, compared to last year, this Brookville team's really firing on all cylinders right now, and I think that they could be. I don't know if they'll be able to top Central Clarion 2A, but they're definitely going to make some noise in the 2A, depending on what the outcome of if Karn City is able to make the playoffs or not. But either way, that was a pretty good Brookville team I saw play today, and I was able to interview. I wanted to interview both. I got to talk to Hayden and Jack Pete from Brookville, so I'll play both those interviews for us. All right, Jack Pete, big Brookville Raiders win, Route 36 trophy winners again. Talk about the game a little bit.
I mean, coming in, the conditions weren't ideal. We knew it was going to be a dogfight, and we came out victorious.
You had the big play on defense for that fumble recovery for a touchdown. Walk us through that play a little bit.
I was just doing what I normally do on defense, trying to make the play, and I saw the ball come out, scooped it, and scored it.
That was a pretty good Punxsutawney team. Your defense kind of held the whole game. Talk about some other guys who kind of stepped up on defense tonight.
Jack Knapp and Gavin Hanna especially. All the linebackers, really shut down the run game, and that's really crucial to the win.
Yeah, this is a big rivalry game for you guys. How big is it getting that Route 36 trophy back in Brookville?
It's huge. That's what we wanted to do all week coming in, and we executed and did just that.
All right, thanks. All right, Hayden, big win for the Brookville Raiders today. Talk about the game a little bit.
Started off rough. The offense wasn't clicking at all. And the second half comes, and our team just turns around completely. And the very first play, we bombed it up, touchdown to me. One of the fastest kids on the team. That's just what I'm going to do. And then Pete's really big fumble recovery touchdown. That's really what changed the game as well. And then we just get big defensive stops. The defense really helped us out tonight.
What kind of changed on offense? Like you said that the first half offense wasn't really clicking, but what was the message at halftime about second half adjustments?
It's just keep your head in the game. Don't get your head down. We're always a second half team. We always start out slow, and then we always come back in the second half.
For a player like you, what's it like dealing with the conditions like that, especially in the first half?
It was rough, but you just got to deal with it. That's really all.
Yeah, defensively, I thought Brookville had a really good game on that side of the ball, and really held a really good Punxsutawney team. Talk about some guys that really stepped up on defense tonight.
Pete Knapp, definitely. Gavin Hanna, Sam Krug.
Got Foreman track.
Guys like that, Dante. The whole defense, basically. Really good D-line tonight, too.
Yeah, and this is a big rivalry, the Route 36 trophy. Talk about that a little bit and what it means to get that back in Brookville.
Feels really good after last year because the seniors, I love those guys to death, and they lost it, so it just feels good to get them back for them.
All right, and do you feel like a win like this? Both of these teams 6-2 coming into this game, and started off the season slow, 0-2 and 6 straight. Now you have 7 straight wins. What's that say about your team and confidence moving into the playoffs coming up soon?
We've always been here. We started out rough, but we're always going to be Brookville, and we're always ready, prepared for a fight.
All right, thanks, Hayden, and good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Conditions and stuff aside, I think even though Punxsutawney lost, I still think they played a really good defensive game, and I think both teams honestly played really good defense throughout the game because you've seen the numbers that Brookville's put up, and you've seen the numbers that Punxsutawney's have put up, and they kind of held everything on to their own. If that Hayden Freeman doesn't get that early touchdown early in the half, that's really the only real big play that was in the entire game, that and the defensive touchdown. But offensively, that was the only offensive play that really stood out in the whole game.
Yeah, isn't it funny sometimes, and that does happen sometimes, when you get two offenses that are just kind of rolling along, putting up numbers and putting up points, and then they play each other, and you get this defensive grind fest. And it's funny how that happens sometimes. And like we talked about, it's just a play here, a play there, weather conditions being what they were too. And, that's all it took for Brookville. And again, to your point, Punxsutawney didn't play a bad game either. It's just Brookville made that one more play than they did.
Mm-hmm. In the last game that we have, Chris was able to cover the Union Ridgeway game. I think he told me, I have talked to him right after the game. I think it was close in the first half, and then Union kind of just went, closed it out in the whole second half, and they finished with 51-13 victory. I think he told me it was 16-13 at halftime or something close to that.
Yeah, boy, talk about laying the hammer in the second half. And my God, this is a Union AC Valley team that really. That win over Brockway earlier in the season, I feel kind of spearheaded them. And now, I wasn't sure really what to expect from them, before that game. But after that game, they've been kind of rolling right along, and they're going to be a playoff team. And that's something I wasn't sure of at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, in the 1A playoffs, there's definitely a lot of teams in that one because we also had wins. Coudersport won again. Cameron County won. Auto lost, but they're still only 6-3 now. So there's a lot of 6-win teams there. I think Union they moved up to 5-4 now.
Yep.
So that'll be kind of interesting to see how all that seeding works. I know we're kind of top heavy a little bit in 1A, I feel like, with Brockway, Red Bank, and Port Allegheny, but I think it'll be interesting to see who all how the whole seedings and stuff work out with them.
Yeah, I am too. Because to your point, there are a lot of teams right there, and there's not a lot of separation between any of them. You know, sometimes it'll come down to head-to-head matchups or just feel type thing. But I really feel like that Union AC Valley team is just they're playing some really solid football, and I've had an opportunity. I saw them beat Keystone earlier in the year, and you could kind of see the potential there. And I think that you've really seen that come to fruition over the second half of the season.
Yeah, especially if we get like a 3-6 matchup with Brockway and Union AC Valley, so you never know what could happen in that situation.
Yeah, no question.
But, looks like Chris was able to get an interview with Trey Fleming from Union AC Valley.
On that play.
Well, Coach saw an opening, and I told Birdie to hit me across the middle, and it was just from there on over field.
When did you realize you were gone?
Probably as soon as I crossed the 30, I saw no one in front of me. So, yeah.
What kind of feeling is that when you look forward and there's nobody between you and the goal line?
It's a good feeling. It's really good.
Then you have another big one, too. I think it was 60-something. And, just talk about how those big plays helped you guys win tonight.
It gave us a lot of momentum coming into the game. The first half we were slow, but the second half we made a few big plays that gave us momentum.
Your defense, you bend a little bit, but you don't break. You did that against Brockway. Ridgeway had some opportunities. You were able to come up with some turnover on downs. Talk about how this defense doesn't allow yards gained against it to define who it is.
It just shows how dominant we are in block. I think secondary we have 12 interceptions. Then we have Luke Wilson in the middle. That's a hard hitter. We have Max and Colvin on the outsides. Can't forget about Easton. They're a unit up front.
Well, congrats.
Yeah, big win for Union, like we said. But looking around the league also before we wrap the show up, was there any other scores in District 9 and District 10 that kind of stood out to you?
Yeah, just kind of looking around. Cameron County not just beating Otto Eldred, but shutting them out 38-0. That's quite impressive, from the Red Raiders there. So that one kind of stuck out to me. Clearfield took on unbeaten Central Martinsburg, fell 27-21, but you have to feel good about the way they played in that one. And Port Allegheny Keystone. Port Allegheny kind of taking the two Keystones 50-13. I think a lot of people thought that might be a closer game, but again, every time this, when Port Allegheny's had a setback this season, they've bounced back in a big way, and that's a big win tonight for the Gators. And looking in District 10, Corey, 2-5 Corey beating 6-2 Fort LaBeouf. Those were the records coming into the game. 14-7 Corey over Fort LaBeouf. That's a big win. General McLean likely wrapped up a Class 3A playoff bid in District 10, 49-14 win over Girard. Just look at Cambridge Springs, 22-8 win over Mercer. They're in line for a top 2 seed in the Class A playoffs there. And then Lakeview bouncing back from their first and only loss of the season by shutting out Reynolds 37-0. So those are probably just a few scores, on each side that really kind of stand out here. And teams that are really good that maybe had a loss last week, bouncing back. I think that was kind of a theme a little bit. And, again, we really see these cream of the crop kind of rise to the occasion here.
Yeah, those were the kind of the same games that I was thinking too. Cameron County, Otto Eldred has a pretty good offense. Their offense usually clicks pretty well, and to not even score against Cameron County, that's interesting to see. And even Clearfield too, I know they've lost a couple in a row now, but you also have to look at the strength of schedule that they've been having this year now that they're in that new Laurel Highlands Conference. This is the third straight week they've played a team that was undefeated, and they've lost their last 2 games by only 1 score, so they're staying with those good teams, and I think that's really going to help them come playoff time for them, knowing that they've played all these harder teams and they know what it takes to win and everything. So that's big for Clearfield that they're getting those types of games this season and that they're that close,
Yeah. And again, I'm sure, right after in the moment, it doesn't feel great. You want to be able to close those games out. And again, Clearfield 1-2 in those games. But exactly to your point, Jared, they're right there. And those are the kind of games you want heading into the playoffs. And this is a team that when they do get into the playoffs, they're going to be battle tested. They know what it's like to play in those close games. And I think that's only going to benefit them.
Mm-hmm. And the last thing we got this afternoon, evening, we actually have some District 10 football games today. We have Northeast at Fairview, Farrell at Slippery Rock, Northwestern at Seneca, and Hickory at Sharpsville.
Yeah, again, Farrell looking to stay undefeated on the season. Northeast, their coach, Jovan Johnson, really feels like I think is kind of advocating for them. They're 7-1, really kind of advocating for them to be the top seed in the Class 3A playoffs there. Not sure how that's all going to shake out, but they certainly have a very legitimate argument there. And then as does Hickory. Hickory at 6-2 goes to makes the short trip to Sharpsville. So a couple of interesting games in District 10 today. So curious to see how those shake out.
Do you have game times for those 4 games? Do you know?
Yeah, the Northeast Fairview game is an afternoon kickoff, and the rest are all in the evening at 7 o'clock.
Well, that's good, especially for the people that will be watching the Penn State-Ohio State game this afternoon. I know that's a big talk around this area, especially my area, since a lot of us are all Penn Staters around here.
Absolutely. Definitely looking forward to that one. I know I'll be watching. I got plans to head over to a buddy's house to watch it. Hopefully watch a Penn State win. But definitely should be a great game.
Yeah, I think Penn State's definitely a lot better than they have been in the past couple years, but definitely should be an interesting game. But after the game, go check out your local high schools, check out some of those District 10 games that we have. Also want to shout out our sponsors again, Generational Wealth Management, Allstate David Jones Agency, Cole Orthodontic Associates, Allegheny Electric, Allegheny Grill, SFPC, and Tap and Play Plus.
Yep, a big thank you to all our sponsors and for allowing us to do this show. We have fun doing it every week and bringing you some of the best from across District 9, District 10 each week. Week 9, not quite in the books, as we said, but a good chunk of it is. And, we're closing in on the playoffs here, so it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, so next week we'll probably have a lot of big storylines with playoffs and stuff coming up, and I'm sure we're going to have a lot to talk about with the big 9-0 versus 9-0 Central Clarion versus Red Bank Valley game. So that'll be next Friday at Red Bank Valley. Other than that, that's all we got for this morning's Generational Wealth Management Saturday morning look back show from Andy. I'm your host, JB Graphics right here. You can follow that on social medias. Thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks to all our sponsors, and we will catch you guys next week.